No, it wouldn't have been Wednesday. Before it got cold, and I didn't even bother putting a folder in. I'm like, there's no sense in putting a folder in because
Right.
But I was debating whether to oxalic them again. What's your thoughts on that?
You did it 2 weeks ago?
I did it. I don't have my book up here. I did it. Okay, so last week was Christmas, right before it got cold. So I think it was like the 19th, maybe. Or maybe it was the 21st of Solstice. It wasn't cold on the 21st. It was either like between the 19th and 21st, one of those 3 days when it was still warm, before it got really cold.
And you had hundreds? 100?
One of them they had gone down, but one of them I think had 60, but the other ones were in the very low, 40 or 60, I can't remember. But 2 weeks before that, one had gone up to 100, and the others were in like the 40s and 60s. It was ridiculous because they had come down right before that. They keep going like this. It's like count up, count down, count up, count down, count up, count down.
And it probably depends on if you've got brood.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm guessing.
Shouldn't have so much brood now, but in a couple weeks, some bees start laying brood again in January. Especially because the maples will start coming up in later part of Janury. Yeah,
January?
Yeah, the maples here do.
What?
I always thought it was February, but
and they drill in and suck it from the little where the buds and stuff are coming from.
No way! I did not know.
Some maples do, not all maples, but some maples do.
Huh.
I think it's supposed to be in the 60s tomorrow. Let me look.
I have to work all day, which puts me out of pocket.
Yeah.
Saying 59 tomorrow, 54 Saturday, but it's still like next week it's going to be 64, 58.
Yeah.
They get closer.
I miss Kitty.
It doesn't want to show her. Oh, there
There
she
it is.
is.
Yeah.
She looks grumpy.
Well, yeah, she was. Every time I come here for a meeting, she likes to bug me.
Yeah.
I said, "Well, come up here." No, she didn't
I
like that.
personally would wait another week or two before I treat again. I just really get afraid of oxalic acid and hurting the queen.
Yeah.
So you've knocked them down. There's not any brood for them to be hiding in. So typically you should have gotten all the phoretic ones.
I'm thinking if you used enough, you should have gotten them all.
Yeah.
Well, I use 6. I have a deep and a medium for my brood. But you know what's weird? I had that stupid thing blow on me twice. The cap.
Yes, I hate that.
I don't know why. It's like I wonder if because I get them ready.
I think it's your tube, the little tube that goes in gets clogged, and then the pressure builds up and pops it.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to take a stick or something in there and clean it out.
I constantly have to clean that stupid thing out.
I take a paper clip unfolded, and between every treatment, between every one, I clean that thing out. And sometimes I can't even get it in; it's so clogged. And it's
exactly. That's why
it's popping. Make the pipe just a little bit bigger.
Thank you. Me too.
I emailed. Let me look at my email. I emailed Low Rob. If I lose you, I'll get back on there. I emailed. Oh, here we go. Thanks for your message. I texted. He says we're not currently online. Blah, blah, blah. Sounds like your tube is clogged. Oh, no kidding. It's causing pressure to build up, then the cap to blow off. If the tube is bent, you can take it back. Tap it back with a rubber mallet. You can apply heat to the tube with the respirator on and get the clog out. See, that doesn't help me because I know it's clogged. It's like
keeps getting clogged.
That's my. And I thought maybe because like I get my things set. Actually, one of my Christmas presents was more of the caps, but we're picking them up down there because I have 5, but I need 8. And I know Phyllis says just put it right in your thing. Well, I'm not coordinated enough to put that in there, get that cap on, and get it in there without.
Trust me, you have time. I did what she said. It made me nervous, but you actually do have time. Just get the cap in your hand and your spoon ready, dump it in, throw the cap on, and walk away. And
so what temperature is your gun when you do it? Like, do you let it go down?
It's back up to like 425.
Yeah.
I turn mine off and go to the next hive, stick it in, turn it back on, dump it in, and put the cap on.
You turn it off?
I do. Why not?
Yeah, I turn mine off too, but
I never turn mine off.
I mean,
as soon as I put that cap in, soon as I put it on that cap, and turn it over, it starts
Yeah,
blowing it. So I just figured when I put it
Mine
on
doesn't.
there, I don't know,
Mine
but I
doesn't,
just know,
but-
I thought maybe
Because-
my oxalic was getting moisture, like, cause I did it right before dark and I thought maybe it's getting moisture because you know what, if you put water in there to clean it,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought maybe it's just drawing enough moisture that it's making it blow off. I didn't know.
But yeah, I guess I never thought about it, but heating that tube up would make it, would make it vaporize what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just wish the tube
torch.
was big. I wish it was a little bit bigger because then I
Yeah.
could get my little thing in there and like clean it out.
Yeah.
yeah, I found a piece of wire that's just firm enough and
Yeah.
I actually keep it in there when I store it, so I know it goes all the way through.
I use a paper clip and
Good
I just sit
idea.
there and I kind of twirl it and I go, but I do that between each treatment and it's still getting clogged up. I don't,
Yeah. Mine constantly gets clogged.
yeah.
Do you have the same brand, Rhonda?
Yeah. We bought them the same time.
Yeah, we got them
I
at
have the
conference.
same brand, and I don't have a I don't seem to have the same problem as you do. And I do 8 grams at a time.
You
the-
stuff 8 grams, you put 8 grams in
I
there?
don't have to stuff it, I just dump, it's
You
2
dump
scoops.
it.
to me.
Yeah, 2
So what
scoops
is that?
and
2
a cup.
tablespoons?
Well, I have a little
Mhm.
measuring cup, and what I did was, half of it is, 2 grams, and the whole one is 4 grams, because I took it out on a scale, a food scale.
Yeah.
Phyllis had me do that. And I realized, because I thought it was 8 grams before, it's only 4 grams, but I do 2 scoops of those. It came with my first package of the glyoxide acid.
Yeah, it's a little silver metal.
Well, I have a metal one too, but I have a little white one, and it's got a half one, which is a half one. So my one hive that has a deep and a medium, I give them 6 grams, which is a scoop and a half. That's my method.
Gotcha.
We all have our own methods, I guess.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
measured it.
I have moisture problems. That's my biggest problem lately.
In your hive?
Well, yeah, I went, I'm going to be away in January, so I've decided that right before this cold spell to put on my sugar boards. And I have one hive that has a solid board, the rest are screened. And when I opened it up and took off that inner cover, it was wet.
Yeah.
So what I did, I took that off and I put the sugar board on that helps control the moisture. And the entrance reducer was actually frozen on there. I took that off and I put hardware cloth across it instead.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest fear is moisture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mites and moisture.
Nice and yeah, the
And
2N.
starvation and cold. And
Did you see where that guy? The whole lid flew off his hive.
Yeah, it's still alive. How's that possible?
Snowed in it.
That's they like Phyllis says, they don't get cold. Cold's not their
No,
biggest danger.
wet and cold.
Wet and cold, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
They really are amazing. This weather, I'm out there all the time. I can't wait for hive life.
Yeah.
Excited.
What are you thinking? Do you have any equipment that you're specifically looking for this year?
Well, so far I ordered 5. I've pre-ordered 5 unassembled deeps, 2 4-frame nukes, and I paid for a carrier, a hive
Yeah.
carrier. I got one hive. I got to do 160 on, and I can't lift it, so that'll save me. I paid for the other night. I paid for my global patties. I'm wondering
Yeah.
when I can start giving them the global patties.
Well, we'll ask them when we go and see the man.
Yes. I think I'm gonna look for maybe another mite treatment for the summer.
Yeah.
How about you?
I was waiting for see if Boo was going to come on. I was going to have her talk a little bit about that article she posted. Did you guys read where they were saying Apivar, yeah, is getting
Resistant.
Yeah, resistant.
No.
That's not new news, but that
Well,
they were
they're
talking
admitting
about
it.
that a couple years.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't actually see the data how old that article was she posted.
They were talking about that at ABF probably in 2020.
Yes.
That's what I got to use this spring, so am I doomed? I've never used it before.
I don't know. It depends on
I
your
use
bees.
I use Apogard. And I really like Formic, the Mother Wave the best, but I had to stop using them for a while so they don't get resistance to them.
Yeah, they're recommending switching, every little bit.
I did. That's why I went to Apogard this year.
That's one thing you don't have to worry about with oxalic acid.
Right.
Yes.
There's no resistance.
Right. So did you see the article that Sue had put on when she was over in Germany
Yes.
talking to that German
Yes.
lady about her dribble?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was hoping Sue would pop on here so we could ask her more questions about that.
I think a lot of bigger operations use the dribble.
But even in that cold of weather,
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
that's what I wanted to know more
No
of.
way.
At what temperature does that gal use her dribble?
Right. I did a talk. I put together a talk once on the chemicals in our mite treatments.
Yeah.
And that was where I first, I mean, I'd always heard about the dribble, but I thought that's where the queen losses were happening. Actually, though, when I read about it, I thought, that's really not a bad idea, especially for a small keeper that has like 1 or 2 hives and not having to invest in a vaporizer.
Yeah.
But it also said it's not something that you do repeat treatments with.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was the reasoning for that?
I don't remember. I'll have to look at it again, but because I was thinking, okay, you just do that over and over. It was very important that they were broodless, as is for us. I mean, even with vaporizers, but yeah, it was not recommended for repeat treatments.
Oh,
Louisa, what I'm thinking is if we use a vaporizer on a regular basis, I would think I'm going to use something different in the summer than the same product.
Yeah.
Because of the resistance back. I mean,
I used to use Formic, like
too.
Mitaway quick strips, and then I would do oxalic acid.
That's what I always did.
But I really, really hate that stuff. The bees hate it. Look how caustic it is when we open up the box to
Yeah.
us.
But
And we're putting that in their little tiny home. I just can't do it.
Are you talking about
cut
the
it in
Formic?
half.
Yeah.
I cut it in half, and I could never do a whole dose. I do a half dose.
Yeah. That is probably better.
It is a lot better because the first time I used it, I did a whole dose, and I went back. The bees were pouring out of the hive, and I ripped it all out of there. I was so upset.
Wow.
Yeah.
But since
Yeah.
I cut it in half, I don't have that reaction.
They really started talking about the half doses after I had decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. But
I really do like the half doses. I'd like to go back to it. Like I said, I took a break from it this past year, but that's what I'd like to go back to again.
I think it's pretty effective, really.
It's effective. You don't have to worry about temperatures, and you don't have to worry about stores.
Well, you do have to worry about temperatures.
Well, temperatures, yeah, but not like the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling off honey supers and catching the right temperatures.
Right.
It's a balancing act.
It is. Well, what I'm seeing though, when we need to be treating, which is like 1st of July,
Yep.
it's too hot often to use Formic these days. I mean, you really, you need to have 3 days of,
Right. And I've been lucky with it.
that temperature. So,
Yeah.
So what do you guys find like with Apogard? After we used it this year, and then I used it, and then I think it might have been Shanda that said that it keeps them knocked down. It doesn't necessarily was meant to clean them all out, but it was meant to keep the mites knocked down. What are you thinking about that?
Hmm.
I don't think that's good enough in my book.
Yeah,
In
when
my
I,
opinion, I don't think it's good enough.
no, that's all I did for me this year was knock it down, and then I really had to be very aggressive with the oxalic acid. I was doing the every 5 days for 5 weeks,
Yeah.
right after it, so.
Oops.
There's
Miss
Susan.
Miss Susan, are you on with us now?
I am. I'm sitting up in my bed like a tired old woman because I have to get up at 4:30. I was like, I didn't think we were doing this till January. And then I saw it on there and I'm like, I'm here.
Cool.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hello.
Waiting for your report on your German lady.
Oh my goodness. So she does not post pictures on social media. She used to, she doesn't now. So I didn't put anything up. We had just the best time. And Ryan's leaving line was, Daddy, I love you so much. I love you more than Grammy. I'm like, oh, you little rat bastard. Oh, it was it was a wonderful, it was freezing. We had 5 inches of snow. They don't plow, they don't salt. Nobody's fat. Everybody's out. There's like 80-year-old women riding bikes with baskets going to the market. I mean, it's just a different world,
Wow.
but it was so much fun.
Cool.
It was much fun. So you guys talk at mites?
Yeah, we were talking mites, and I was wondering what your gal said, because you said she dribbles.
So I have her card. I have not gone. She has a web page or something somewhere. She's been beekeeping since she was 20. You cannot gauge their age because they just look like they live a much harder life than we do. But she only uses oxalic acid, the dribble, and she dribbles. I don't know. It was freaking 14 degrees when I was having that conversation with her. It was freezing. But she said she dribbled. Her English was poor, like up till December. Never
Okay.
vapor, dribble. And she does, oh gosh, what are the bees? What are the bees that people always want? They're hard to get, the real ones in the United States.
Buckfast. Buckfast.
Mm-hmm.
Buckfast, something, is it Buckfast?
Yeah.
Buckfast.
It might have been Buckfast. I'll have to go back because I made a note on her card because that's what she predominantly uses. But yeah, it was really cool. Her display was amazing.
So
Yeah,
what we were talking about was doing the dribble while it was that cold. Right?
Well, you're
with
being
moisture.
cold. That makes no sense. You can't do it when it's that cold. But her English was so poor, and there were people in line behind me that I couldn't ask her or find, typically all I do the whole trip is I grab somebody and say, hey, do you speak English? Yes. Ask this person this question. But I didn't.
So you got the impression though that she did it that cold?
No. I got the impression she probably did it because like Germany, the weather we had was unusual. Typically in December, they'll get a little bit of snow, but then it warms like 55, 60, it melts off and it's just rainy and yucky. So this was an unusual cold snap when we were in Regensburg.
Okay.
So I'm thinking they may have a day like where, tomorrow's going to be in West Virginia, 63 degrees?
Yeah.
So you probably could do a dribble and they would be okay. It's not freezing. My bees were out like crazy today.
No, I hate seeing them break their clusters though.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh.
Well, but today were your bees, like when you see that many bees flying outside of your hive, they're not clustered in there.
Right. They're already broke for the
Yeah.
day.
Bees
Yeah.
were like, my bees were bombing me like 400 or 500 feet from my hive today.
Yes, they're going back. I put water out for them. They go to the sources where I keep water during the season, and I had to put water out for them. They're back and forth with water all day long, bombing me left and right.
Yeah, and mine go, I've got 2 puddles out by my garage. My husband calls them ponds. They're puddles. And they were frozen over, but they were lined up around those.
Yep.
So, enough they could get wet, but
I use one of those chicken waterers.
yes.
In the garage. So last night I filled it up just enough so it wouldn't get too, not too much water. So I have to drain it today. And I put it back where I usually keep it, and they were all over it all day.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
that is good.
So
Good.
Sue, what is your equipment that you're going to be looking at Hive Life?
Sue, what equipment did you purchase to pick up at Hive Life would be the
Yes.
question.
Okay, that question.
I did it. The Bank of Sue needs clothes, so I was somewhat good. I picked up from Hilco wooden ware for deep boxes. I picked up like 6 or 8 of them. I picked up 10 metal queen excluders because I'm going to use them. I used them this year because I had drawn out, comb for my super, and it worked really well putting that queen excluder on, and the prices were great. I bought 6 more of those feeders to go on the top that I also use for quilt boxes that have the floating racks. And then I went to, was it Pierco? What's the foundation people?
Pierco.
I bought double their stuff they had on special, double wax foundation to bring home. And then from somewhere I bought frames that need assembled. What I really would like, my husband, God bless him, is going to be 80 in May. He had his heart cardio converted yesterday at AGH. And I told him he's going to start earning his keep. And I want him to build me slatted bottom boards because they're too expensive to buy.
Yeah,
And I want slatted
Thank you.
bottom boards. What,
Yes.
Kath?
I want more screen bottom boards, and they're expensive. And I was looking at how to build
Honest
them
with
too.
you, not 2 winters ago when I got my highs through for the first time, I had screen bottom boards, no entrance reducers, no
Right.
quilt boxes, and no food. And my hives all made it.
Yep. Ventilation. They didn't have any moisture in there. but that's-
No, I like screen bottom boards better than the closed bottom ones. I don't even have entrance reducers on right now. I
I
keep
took entrance
thinking,
producers off for more ventilation. And Louisa, I got my saw. I'm gonna screen that bottom of that that queen castle, like you said, because you're right.
Uh-huh.
Too much moisture.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably do this tomorrow. I'm gonna get my drill and get down under there and drill holes in that just for safe. Because I'm afraid they're gonna get major moisture,
Yes.
I put a mouse guard on. That's the only thing. I don't want mice getting in there and building a nest. So I'll put the mouse guard on.
That's why I had when I did my sugar boards, I used the 1/2-inch hardware cloth. So
Right.
I put them across my entrances. Keep the mice out, but they can get in and out, and they got a lot more airflow.
Right.
Hey, how much were your screen bottom boards that you were looking at?
I haven't bought them this year. What do you see for a price?
$12
Where?
for screen
Where?
or solid? Well, remember me telling you about this guy that I buy stuff from in Carlisle, PA?
Yeah.
Well, I just got his list, his price list.
Oh,
Wow.
cool. That's
And-
cheap.
So screened or solid bottom boards are $12.
Damn.
I want 6 of them.
Well, that's what I'm considering, maybe making a trip because he's only about an hour from my in-laws house. So maybe I can make let you know when I'm going.
Yeah.
Please do.
And I don't know how to share this list with you all without, I don't want to get in trouble on our Facebook page, but
This is study group. It's open.
it's
You
It's
can
a
put
hand-
it. You can put
handwritten
it on
one.
the study group page.
okay. I'll do that. I'll take a picture of this and put it on there.
Perfect.
Oh, ladies, I want to tell you who's going to the Hive Life. I have a garden cart that I use to move my hives. I use it for the garden. I'm sticking it in my truck. So if anybody needs to borrow a cart going back to your truck, I'll have it.
That would be me.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. My brother's coming. My brother's starting beehives. He's got one more chapter
cool.
left of the Penn State book.
Oh, your handsome
So-
brother. How old is he?
He's
Handsome.
happily married, just
And
retired.
so am I, but he's still handsome.
Oh, he's gonna, I told him, I said, you are gonna meet the most wonderful people. Oh, and then Louisa, I was thinking about you. So the Southwestern Pennsylvania beekeepers, that the Beaver Bee Company people do, are running their little seminar in Monroeville. And the last time I was there was in Ian Steffler was there, and I got a
Right.
thing from my Penn State side that said we desperately need volunteers, and we're like, for example, you can attend your session to hear somebody speak and act as a timer, get them started, keep them on time, stop. I'm like, okay, cool, that's easy. So I sent the guy, yeah, I'd like to volunteer. Well, somehow I am now the official in charge of all the tables, vendors, and ads.
Oh
Whoa.
my.
So Joe Zagurski that runs Country Farm Party, he called me today. I'm like, Joe, I just got home. I have all these checks, all this stuff here. I have no clue as to what I'm doing.
That's
Yeah.
how Louisa got president.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
I'm active with these people.
That's cool. I hope I get to go to that. I forget what the date was.
I should be able to. February something.
God bless you.
God, Bethany, he's huge.
Somebody's
And I'm not
TV's
even
on.
joking. Whoops.
Oh, no.
Oh my
Me?
goodness.
Oh,
He is. He's getting
Yeah.
big. We're still waiting any day.
he
Oh,
finds you guys very entertaining. He likes to look at you.
Hi. He probably
Hi,
does.
So Louisa, when you were there last year, then I'll go on to Kathy and Bethany. What did you find as far as equipment that you hadn't seen before that you think you might incorporate or you did get to incorporate in your hive apiary?
Well, I'll tell you something I saw that I wished I had paid attention more to and didn't think it was much account was it was like this, I think it was like a funnel that you could take a whole frame and shake it down in there, and that's how you collected your bees to do your sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hindsight, I didn't, like I said, I didn't pay much attention to it while I was there. But then I learned more about it later and thought, oh, that would be so much better than smacking them in a box and some of them are flying out. And then, you're trying to collect your sample. Well, you just take your whole, it's kind of like, I guess it's the whole length of a frame, and you drop it down in there and, give it a bump, and then your bees drop down. And I bet you they'll still be there. I bet you they'll be there this year. I can't go,
Kathy-
girls, because we have a grandbaby due any day.
Oh, I
So
know.
I won't be there.
She was
But
like Sue Betty the other night, walking around going, I want this baby out of me.
yeah, it's time. So, but anyways, I think that was pretty darn cool.
What did you see, Kathy, that impressed you?
Oh my gosh. I just want to keep on. It was that Queen Castle, the whole Queen
Yeah.
Castle thing really got me, and I've learned a lot in the last year of that Queen Castle, so I think I'm going to modify it to much better. I just hope to find a lot of little things. I want to pick up stuff like I said, screen bottom boards. I didn't order things I didn't order.
Yeah.
Medications.
The Queen Castle from this guy, $60, by the way.
Yeah. Mine was 100. What was Bethany? What do we pay for that? 120 or something like that?
She disappeared.
Yeah, I think it was like 100 or 120 we paid for it. And the one you're looking at, is it complete with a board, with everything?
Yeah, it has the 4 chambers and the dividers and the
bottom.
The little inner covers and the,
No.
just like the ones I use, because that's where
Really?
I got them from, was this guy.
Yeah, you'll have to share him.
Bethany, if you're talking, you're not talking.
You know, if we can get,
I-
I don't think this would happen, but if we could get $1,000 order together, we get
Yeah.
2.5% discount.
Oh,
Yeah, not that much, but anyhow, I'll share it with y'all.
yes, please.
And I've
Kathy-
I've only ever met him at the Southwestern conference that Susan was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, he doesn't live that far from my in-laws that I couldn't make a trip there.
Hey, what's the guy's name or company?
Martin's Bee Supply.
Well, supposedly I have to find out tomorrow morning. I have a spreadsheet with the few vendors that he has so far, so I could check and see if he's on there.
Okay.
Okay.
He's from Carlisle, PA.
All right. But right now I'm
I'm gonna
totally
Google him.
Well,
Okay.
he's like Mennonite or something. He's
Yeah,
not,
they do wonderful work.
they do, but like, you know, his price list is handwritten. He sends, you can't hardly see it.
No,
Let's
you
see.
can't see it. It's too
A
close.
hand- you'll see it when I scan it, but it's handwritten and he mails it snail mail. And when you place an order, you call him. There's no online nothing. But it's good stuff, I think. So,
Yes.
and very reasonable.
Bethany, what did you find last year that intrigued you as far as an item or product or?
Um, I would say also the Queen, but one thing that I thought was super cool was the comb cutter, the heated comb cutter.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the knife heated knives. What is that company that does those?
Lyson?
No, it was, shoot, I'm not sure who it is, but they do one of the popular knives. I don't know if it's Speed King knife. Anyway, they had brand new out. They hadn't actually had them, I don't think, ready for order or anything at that point because I looked them up when I got home. But they've got them on their website now. So that'll be something interesting.
Do you know
Did
what
you-
was really cool that I saw? But then it made me think there might be the Pro Vape company that only puts out vape guns, but they have through this guy's apiary. I can't remember the name now, but he had this crazy machine that you feed your super up and down through, and it punctures holes in the caps for you to get your honey out. And there's no heat used, and but it's like $380. But then I thought, but if I want to use my wax cappings and save my wax, you really don't get it, just punctures holes in it. It was a really cool thing, but man, was it fast. No heat. You just dumped it down, your frame down, back up, and then put it in your extractor. But
Nice,
then I
Ron.
thought I wouldn't have any wax cappings to use.
That's true.
No, I don't know.
Deb, what did you see that was interesting?
Books.
Books.
I know.
You saw me going with 20 books.
Funny.
Yeah, me and my books. That's where I first started. What did we both go and get? One of the screen the board with the little flippers.
The screen,
Oh.
the double screen board.
Yeah, we both went and got one of the. I got one
Yeah.
because you got one, and
Yeah, and I like it.
yeah,
Sometimes I find that it's better off just to use newspaper for some things instead of the screen board.
yeah. But I just walked around with my mouth hanging open.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have a lot more vendors this year.
Yeah.
100 vendors.
I can't
I
imagine.
wonder where they're gonna put everybody.
They open up
That-
that one wall behind the stage and it doubles the room.
The room that we were in,
Yes, they're making.
The
It's going to be
whole
double.
yeah, the
They
whole
double.
room that we were in, Louisa, is
Uh-huh.
going to be that's going to be like vendors, the entire
Oh.
room.
Wow.
And another space the same size on the other side of that wall is
Right.
the additional space.
Oh, I thought he was gonna have like 2 speakers going on at one time in one in each room.
He might. I thought, is he?
I
I
didn't get
thought,
that.
Huh.
You know,
Well, I
I-
might be wrong.
that conference is going on the same time as ABF, and I've gone to the ABF for a couple of years prior to COVID, and I hate that. So, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't like to, because you're gonna miss something. No,
Right.
The way the schedule read, they talked about, they had a schedule of when people were speaking, and then they had a round table.
yeah, that's why I was thinking there was gonna be 2 things going on in 2 different areas at all times.
There might have been.
That's not how I read it.
Oh,
I could be wrong, definitely could be wrong.
because I was trying to decide, I was gonna have to see which one I wanted to listen to, because they'd be going on 2 people at once.
Oh, I hope not, because I wanna-
Always pay for the whole thing recorded when it's over.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm telling you, when you sit there at live like David Peck last year, I mean, he's a smart dude, but I don't want to listen to him on a podcast. I have to sit there and watch him speak.
He's real proud of himself, let me tell you, because
He is proud of-
I tried to hire him for our
Expensive.
speaker series. He was very expensive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, just outrageous. And I'm thinking, well, what special have you done? When
Right.
I could have got Sammy Ramsey for a lot less than what he's charging for
wow.
a video conference.
Wow.
So I was like, no thanks.
Oh yeah, he's impressed, but he is really interesting.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed you won't be there.
I know. Me too. But
Yeah, I hadn't even considered that till you said that the other day on the chat line, and I was going, "Oh, that's right."
yeah, trying to take a picture of this price list.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the baby's due like January 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's understandable why you're not going.
yeah,
No, I was
Hey,
looking-
guess what? I have
What?
no grandbabies due, and I have. I'm like really happy.
Yeah.
We may have one more down the road, but right now 7 is the house.
wow.
Well,
You
between
have-
we have 6 kids and 13 grandbabies with the 2 blended families, but his grandbabies are all college graduates because
Oh.
he's old as dirt. He'll be 80. He'll be 80 in May. He was 49 when I met him. He was a stud back then.
Good for you.
Oh. Now, anybody else's, Deb, I saw you say that your bees were at top. I hooked my little FLIR camera up to my phone when it was like, 16 degrees, and it made it to the first 3 hives. And I never looked at the top 3, which my stronger hives, but they all appeared to be in the middle of the upper box.
When Joni came over, she wanted to borrow my oxalic acid vaporizer thing. So I says, "Yeah, let's do mine at 2:00, and then you can take it home." Which she's fine with that. She was laughing. So when we popped the tops off, because I wanted to see the condition, and I lifted them a little because I was very, very concerned about them being light, and they were light. But when we popped up the top, because I had my sugar boards, they were all clustered around the inner covers hole, all of them.
Oh,
So,
wow.
all of them were already up, and being that they were, I felt, listening to Phyllis and Shandon, them saying, "Don't feed them too early because it'll make them come up and they won't cluster." Well, it was 42 degrees and mine were already up there. So I felt it's safe enough to feed. So that's when I put on my sugar blocks, and which was just pie shaped. But I learned one thing this year. I made them a month or 2 ago, and I says, "Oh, I'll just pop them in the freezer." and leave them in the freezer. That was not right. That was not good, because when I took them out and thawed them out, they fell apart.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so don't do that. So we took the parts from each one and made a little tent around the inner cover hole, on the top. I left everything on the top. And then I filled in around the rest of the inner cover with dry sugar, because I was really desperate to get them fed. So then I came up with some fondant this week. So now I'm going to work on that tomorrow and put some fondant in there also. But I'm going to slip it in under the inner cover on top of the frames,
Okay.
since it'll be so warm.
That's where I'm putting mine, but I don't have shims. So I'm
I
gonna
don't
have to-
either. So I got to make them flat.
Yeah, well, I used the oven and then I was able to cut that block. So, but mine are like, almost inch thick, and they hardened back up again.
Okay.
So I wonder if they'll still be able to eat it. I'm thinking they will, but
I think they will, because once you get it back in there and it'll be near where the cluster's going to be, they'll keep it warm.
yeah, I guess I'll have to just check on them.
Yeah, check them
I'm-
again.
I'm
in a
thinking about
month.
just putting an empty medium box on, putting that on there, and
I have two shallow boxes that I use just for shims now, because I don't use shallows anymore.
yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, but I don't have any.
Correct. Me
I have
too.
some boxes I could cut up, but they're 10 frames, so that's not gonna help me.
No, because you're 8 frame now.
Mostly, yeah.
Oh, that lady in Germany, they use 12 frame boxes.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah, all her frames, they were all 12 frame boxes.
They use Layens hives. A lot of them use Layens hives. In Spain, I saw an apiary, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what they had there. And then when I talked to that Dr. Leo,
mhm.
that's what he told me. They were Layens
Well,
hives.
her 12 frames, but they stack right up like ours. She has 2 deeps and then a number of shallow supers on.
Gotta take out frames to lift those boxes then if they're full.
Are they larger in size, the frames? Or are they the same size as ours?
No, they're the same size. There's just 12 of them.
Oh, so they're
So-
wider.
Yeah, so but just the same thing. I mean, it's like I have 10 frame boxes and I bought all this 10 frame stuff, so I'm not gonna switch to 8. So when I go to move a box, I just pull out 3 frames, and then just the same deal, just pull a
Yep.
couple frames out,
That's what I do.
shift it over, because I'm not changing all that wooden wear. Hell to the no, man.
No, I can't either. What I try to do is I try to take the 3 frames off, lift the box, work on the bottom box, put it back on, and then do the top box.
Right. I mean, that's what's attractive about all these guys that run single deeps, not having to lift that top heavy foundation box off. But I'm still a double deep person all winter. Haven't progressed to that step to try. Maybe next year.
So ladies,
Yes.
I'm gonna have lunch Friday night or Saturday night. What's a better night to hang out for lunch, for dinner?
At Hive Life,
Yeah.
dude, I'm a rookie. You tell me.
Well, I'm staying at a friend's house, so I figured one night I'd stay in town and have dinner with you all, and one night I'd spend dinner with her.
Do you mind if I bring my brother along?
Not at all.
He's a sweetheart.
Bill and I come too.
Yes, of
Sure.
course.
Yeah, we met up about, or Bethany leave us.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I think we met up each night with
Right.
Shanda and
Right.
Jerry and
Whoever was there.
Kim and
So where
Yeah.
did you go?
I was there. We went to some country kitchen place. I
Yes.
don't remember the name of it. Do you?
no, I don't remember, but it was very good. Well, and the one night we just ate there in the convention where the pool was, because Shanda's kids was playing in the pool.
Cool. Okay.
So it must have been the second night that we all went out.
It
Yeah.
must have been. I think it was. Yes.
I think
Well,
the first night.
The restaurant we tried to get into, we couldn't.
Yeah.
It was very popular.
So I don't have an answer actually for you because it was just like play it by ear.
Okay. Well, Deb, you know to save me a seat.
Yes.
I do go to bed earlier than I used to though, so I shouldn't be as late as I was last year.
Okay.
Shit, I can't stay awake. I'm old.
No, I was working swing. I was just getting off my swing schedule and I had a hard time going to bed early. Now I can do it. I usually stay up till 1, but I go to bed at 11.
Mhm.
Nice. That works for me.
Hey, I'm in my pajamas already, girls.
I am too.
So I'm sitting in my bed.
Yep.
I usually was.
Tomorrow for 6 people, addition, we're doing the Francis family Christmas tomorrow because they
Oh.
all were sick Christmas Day. So I cooked tonight, and then we're going down the strip district to Pamela's in the morning for breakfast, and then get coffee, and then we're going to the science center for a couple hours, and we're coming back here and eating and opening presents. So
Nice, nice. I think that's gonna have to be the next Rosie trip is to the Science Center.
Yeah.
I have a Carnegie membership. My husband and I've had it for like 20 years. So I can get 8 adults and 6 kids in free. So,
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to the Science Center, the museum, Andy Warhol.
Ooh.
I was
It's
at the
much-
museum today.
I saw that. So where was the waggle dance? It looked like where they used to have the kids stuff, and they pulled it out after COVID. They had all the little metal. Did they have like boxes of animals and stuff on the side?
Yes. They
And the
were
lo-
over on the left.
Yep.
And so the waggle dance was towards the right side of that room.
That's where they used to have a bunch of like metal ladybugs and things kids could crawl on, but with COVID, they took
Yeah.
out the quote unquote play area, and then they put different stuff in there.
Yeah,
'Cause
there
I was-
wasn't a play area.
No, we were there about, I guess, maybe 3 weeks ago. Because my grandkids, before COVID, we would go once every 2 or 3 weeks because I have that
Mhm.
membership, and it's an hour from here. It's a good place to let kids run. It's fun.
Yep.
All right, B ladies, I'm talking non-B shit. I'm gonna get off here. I'm sleeping. I'm getting up at 4. So excited for Hive Life. And then Deb, I'm gonna take that first apprentice, whatever the first test is at the spring conference.
Yes.
Hopefully I don't fail. So
Penn
I just
State.
You won't.
The Penn State
memorized
book.
the Penn State book.
Yes.
And it's the current
Didn't
Penn State.
Phyllis send that Penn State book out for us?
Yes.
I've been looking for it while everybody was talking, and I know I had it. Do you know how she sent that? Was that in?
She did it in an email because she had it at the beginner class.
Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
it's
That's where I didn't
also
check.
in the
Okay.
files section in the study group, I think.
Yeah.
In the
That book is gonna be updated. I mean, they're ready to put a new one out.
Found
but
it. Thank you. You guys are brilliant. That's what
Yeah.
I needed.
This year's test is on the current book. The new one's not
I
out
don't
yet.
have it in my emails.
It'll be on the old book, not the new book.
Okay. I better start reading.
Is it a
then.
lot of studying? Is it a lot of hard work to pass the apprentice?
No.
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 You
No.
guys, and I'll be like, oh, they missed it by 2.
Bethany.
Yeah.
I saw a thing, the kids thing that they're having at the conference. Your club's doing that, right?
Yes.
So what's the age on that? Because I have a friend that he's like, well, I'd like to have a beehive, but his daughter, I think, is 3rd grade. What would that be?
What is it that they're
8 or
doing that
9.
you're referring to
Fine,
specifically?
Jen.
It said
They
something about the
have that
kids.
woman
Yeah.
that is doing the first ever children's presentation on
Yeah.
beekeeping at a West Virginia conference.
Yes.
And so I would say 3rd grade should be just perfectly fine.
That's what I would think.
It would be
too.
fine.
It's
Yeah,
Totally
she's
fine.
actually a youth, Natalie.
Yeah, she's a kid. I
She's a
mean,
kid.
young.
Natalie.
Yeah.
That's it.
I lost you guys.
No,
How
you didn't.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
We can
That
see
might-
you.
We can see you.
What would you say she is, like
We see that
17?
too.
Is she
Oh,
like
no,
17
Natalie's,
maybe?
Natalie's 13 or 14.
Oh,
Wonder
I
what
thought she
happened
looked a
to
little
her.
older than that.
Uh-uh.
And
Yeah.
if you get the Bee Culture magazine, this month's magazine had an article and it talked, is it Bee Culture, that Kim Flodham is having this guy from University of Florida talk about what the extension is responsible for. And they talked about professors, they talked about the importance of extension and how you have a person like at the West Virginia Extension Office, coming out, and you got a guy that's got a PhD, but he does not teach, and he deals with teaching the general public. And that is where that whole children's idea of coming in to educate the young coming in so they keep it going. And I just saw that with the Mountaineers doing that thing. It's good, just such a good idea.
That's what it was. Sorry, I lost you guys back then. So that's what it was. It was the Mountaineers Club, but I thought they were doing something at the conference. I can't, and I tried to get
Yes.
to it on
All right,
Facebook.
beekeeping with Natalie. She's going to do young woman talking to kids about beekeeping.
So what age should the kids be? That's what
Third
I'm.
grade should be good.
What
Yeah,
grade? Third
I'll have
grade?
to,
Yeah, like grade school.
I'll double check. I'll double check the age, but it's fine, I'm sure.
And there's going to be
Well-
other activities too, I think.
Do they have to pay for the whole conference, or how's that going to work?
Let me see if I can find out.
Okay, because I don't know if they'd be interested or not, but I thought he had mentioned to me when he found out I had beehives, because I'd like to get into that because they have a farm and they have all kinds of stuff. They have chickens and cows and all those, and he wanted to have some. I said they're a lot of work, but if you find out, let me know, and then I can tell him, and I don't, maybe he'll take his girls to it or something, or his one daughter anyway. She's old enough.
Mhm.
So let me ask you something. So last week before it got cold and before I did my last treatment for my hives, I went down and it was like 40 or something. And I was looking I was like, dang, there's no bees out. Did they die? And I got right down to them. So I listened with this ear and I couldn't hear. I listened with this ear and I was like, oh, I must have bad hearing in this ear. What was weird was I just have a mouse guard on them. I don't have entrance reducers.
Mhm.
But I put my hand up to when I put my hand there as I squatted down, I could feel the heat coming out of the hive. I never felt that. Is that normal?
Yes.
That's
I
cool.
never felt that before. I was like,
Oh.
are they too hot in there? Is there going to be moisture? But I mean, the heat was just.
They keep
I was
it
tickled. I thought,
temperature-
"Oh."
That's
The temperature in the hive compared to the outside temperature, I mean, it's going to be a lot warmer, and you're going to probably notice that difference.
But it's
Mhm.
weird. I've never felt it before.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I treated my hives all last winter because of the mites, and I never remember feeling that heat coming out before. I was amazed. And they were flying around today, so they must be okay so far. But
Cool.
I thought that was pretty neat.
Hmm.
So Rhonda, you got any questions or any?
Well, no, I still want to try to hopefully get out to your house so I can look at your examples.
Mhm.
You all head to Hive Life, so I will communicate with you individually, but hopefully I can make it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you'll have time. Yeah, so that's really all I wanted to do. I hope all of you have a great time at Hive Life. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm missing
yeah.
it.
I'm sorry you're missing it too.
I didn't realize how many of you were actually going to it. I'm like, "Ooh."
I wanted to go last year, and my husband's like, no, I don't want you to get COVID. And God bless, last year was a bad COVID year. So I'm hoping
How Bethany?
I came home with COVID. That's too funny.
A lot of our group got COVID.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sat next to Jerry's wife.
Yeah.
Listen, I was just in 3 countries in one day. I was on the plane with some chick, Typhoid Mary, from
Oh,
Munich
God.
to France. And then I got exposed to COVID by my son and his wife and the twins 2 days before I left. And then my ex-daughter-in-law I was there with her for 3 days as she's hacking up a lung, and then she went to the ER and got tested positive for influenza. And I'm home and I'm healthy. So
Oh, man. Good
But I-
deal.
I went and got a flu shot yesterday,
There you go.
and they told me I was good on my COVID vaccines, that I didn't need one. So
Right, that's that last month. Kids started getting sick, I said, I need a flu shot.
Yep.
yeah,
You need to go too. Yes, indeed.
so I did the
Rhonda,
best I could.
Last year I signed up for Hive Life after Christmas.
Uh-huh.
This year I signed up right away because I knew I wanted to go, and this year
They sold out.
really fast.
Yeah,
yeah,
they sold out. I seen that. I was
We-
like,
And they
got
had
tickets
twice
the
as many
very-
people.
We got
Yes.
tickets the very last night. The very last night that they were for sale, we got tickets.
You
wow.
were lucky, really.
Yeah. 'cause
hey,
they had
beautiful
still- I think
ladies,
they
I'm
added
out of
200.
here.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Me
Bye.
too.
See
Good
next
night.
weekend.
Good night, all.
Night.
Thanks, Deb.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hmm.
Yeah, we turned into more of